What's good, sports gamers? The last few years, man defense in Madden has shifted from one end to the other. In Madden 16, man D was so locked down, only one or two routes gave you a chance of consistently moving the ball. So it was no surprise all you saw was two-man under majority of the time. And if they had a good pass rush, it was game over. Then the last two Madden 70 rated corners don't play like Deion Sanders anymore. So with that, I'm going to go over all the routes you can utilize in your offense to be ready when you do come across an opponent who runs man defense, and the adjustments they will make within it. Alright, let's get to it. Ideally, you would figure attack the defenders with the lowest man coverage ratings, which would be their linebacker against your beast tight end, or second or third corner with your receiver. But Madden isn't like that, and typically if a route works against the card's third string corner, it will probably work against Patrick Peterson as well. And we're going to start the vid with utilizing in-breaking routes. Take for instance deep digs. The receiver runs a streak, then cuts on a dime inside. They usually get good separation on these, and of course you can hot route the receiver to a short end route, or smart route him to get a 10-yarder as well, while the default digs go about 1 to 2 yards longer. Then you have the post that has him run a streak, then cut at an angle up the field. Versus press, personally, I prefer the dig route because the defender can't recover as well if the pass is closer to the line of scrimmage. But I certainly favor the post versus off coverage, as there is an obvious touchdown ability there and the quarterback gets completely turned around. And in a play like PA wide receiver in, he has the dig route on one side and the post route on the other, which develops a little longer than I would like, but this play has the best of both worlds. Then there's deep crosses from the outside receiver that you will find in play action plays. If they play press, it's unbumpable, so it's great versus expecting man blitzes, and they'll get inside position every time. Then the receiver puts on the jets to gain more separation across the field. And then the route that Packer receivers will run as long as Aaron Rodgers is in the building is the slant. It's simple but sweet, and equally good versus man off and man press. I think it's in every formation's top audible as well, so don't be shy to use it. Then the two outside routes that destroy man coverage is first and out route. I don't even know how many times I've seen guys convert third and long using the smart routed out route. It's the most frustrating because once they hit you with it once, you sit there like, really, did I just let them do that? Then you forget about it and the fourth quarter comes around and they do it again. And the other are obviously the C routes, most popularly found in shotgun bunch. It's nasty because it develops so fast. You could throw before the receiver even makes his final break, which happens in half a second anyway, and you can get a crazy amount of separation. It always looks like the cornerback is in a good position to defend it, then he just dumbs out and lets up a huge gain. And his versatility as being a great zone beater as well definitely makes it one of the best routes in the game for what, 100 years running? And the last route I want to talk about real quick are angle routes by your running back, like this one out of wide trips offset weak. HB angle. It gives the running back a good amount of separation once he cuts up the field because the linebacker always opens up way too wide on the running back. But of course, even with all the ways to beat man, the defense still has adjustments like changing defenders' assignments to try and cut off a certain route, which is why it's important to be able to attack man outside and inside, so they can't just put their safety in the flat and cover X, Y, and Z. Or they control one of their deep safeties in two-man under and think they're Ed Reed because the threat of the deep ball is minimal this year. And they can also use cover one defenses, which is still man, but instead of two default deep safeties, there is now one by default. So they don't have to cheat with their safety anymore because they actually have the other safety playing the deep middle now. And now for the defense, since they have one less guy defend the deep, they have somebody underneath to play around with, and that's called the robber, whose job is to rob any underneath route by lurking. You will see in 3-4 two-man under defenses, your opponent will usually use this guy because he wasn't in charge of defending anybody specific and he can get his user on. The robber can also be the safety, so knowing where the free roamer is at is key, and having more than one of the routes I went over within the same play can remove the trouble he can cause. Cover one is the more official version of, like I said, dudes getting loose with their safety in two-man under, as the defense is better prepared deep. This is the most common adjustment the defense has to keep the offense on their toes while still playing man. And finally, since two-man under isn't the best coverage, when guys use it, be prepared for some man blitz action with the user trying to jump any route you can throw out there. So don't be predictable in your quick pass man beater game. If he seen you throw a slant when he went to free fire last time, best believe as soon as you snap it, he's gonna go there. So maybe it's best to have an out route over there and a slant on the other side. Sorry, sports gamers, I hope it helps you remove any struggles you perhaps have had playing against man defense in Madden 18. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to Sports Gamers Online so you don't miss any of our Madden 18 content. I'm Chris, thank you all for watching, and be good, y'all.